Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. Assalamu alaikum, good evening, namaskar. It's a glorious moment for me to extend my warm wishes on behalf of MIA, Muslim Industrialist Association. Also, before we could begin this seminar, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all who sincerely committed to attend all the previous four sessions, and today we are in the fifth session. And to this startup entrepreneurship seminar series would have been impossible without your support of each and every one who are present here. Well, the last seminar was on a business plan construction one, and now we are in business plan construction two. With this, you will have an opportunity to submit your text questions to today's presenter by typing out your questions into a chat box. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation, and my team is here to collect this and address them during the question and answer session at the end of today's presentation. How many of you are excited? Right? I'm sure most of you are excited. And I ensure that the seminar will be profitable and fruitful for everyone present here. So stay tuned until the end in case if you are looking for growth in your business. And I always believe it's impossible to run one man show and make that show as a success, right? So I have a wonderful team and I would like to give a quick brief on my team who supported me to come up with these amazing sessions. A project head, a man himself and an entrepreneur since 3 decades and running a successful ventures into different domains like manufacturing industry, hospitality industry, and the last medical equipment, which is need of an hour. And he is none other than our founding secretary of MIA, Muslim Industrialist Association, Mr. Mir Abdul Hafiz. And to support, we have Mr. Zubair from Z Weddings and Events, our renowned wedding planners in town, as an event coordinator for this Startup Entrepreneurship Seminar series, and operations head of Startup Entrepreneurship Seminar series, Mr. Mas from Ali Islamic Matrimony. And by now, you all are aware about me, and it's me, your host and moderator for the day, Safina Naz, psychologist and educationalist. And at the same time, I'm a founder of Asans International. We are into study abroad services, and our services are spread across 28 different countries with more than 480 universities. Now is the time to invite our eminent presenter. And before I could invite him, let me just take you through what is this entrepreneurship seminar series is all about. How many of you have heard in sports we must need a coach just to make sure that we are improving our game continuously, right? Just like that, life is all about that. The business is all about that. Engaging with a coach is a compelling along with the investors, incubators, experts, and others. An experienced and the realistic coach draws a roadmap to achieve your goals. As to avoid all of these as a real success in the journey of an entrepreneurship seminar series, we at MIA have come up with a series of sessions so forth so far. We have covered ideation, idea and design thinking, tear down of options and solutions, and business canvas model and feasibility, business construction plan 1, and now we are in business plan construction 2. And this is what is about startup entrepreneurship seminar series. So now what is in it for me? You know, I have heard two entrepreneurs advising that everyone should have a coach. And who says this? Bill Gates. And the next, Eric from Google says the best advices I have ever got was to get a coach. If you are an entrepreneur, getting a good business coach could make a difference between making it and making it great. So just check who is your coach and do you really require a coach. If you really require a coach, then let me invite our speaker of the day and our eminent presenter of this whole event and the man behind making this customized 5 series and to support all the startups and entrepreneurs, who is an institution in himself when it comes to the startup and entrepreneurship. He is a strategic planning and financial investment banker, innovations, patents, branding and leadership coaching, mentoring, re-engineering, new technology of innovations and interventions, project management, and growth for several verticals. And it is our proud moment, and we are very much happy to invite him. And at the same time, he is an alumnus of IMB and alumnus of ISADE Barcelona, Spain. Now I would like to call upon our speaker or presenter, Mr. MK Gilani. Sir, over to you.
Namaskar, good evening, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for continuing this seminar series for the 5th session, what we have. And after this, we have another bonus session. That's how Safina calls it. The next session, the bonus session, the last of the 6 seminar series will be on the fundamentals of naming a brand and naming an organization and how the logo and the brand creation starts. So before that, last we'll run through the basics. We'll run through the session. We have had a lot of newcomers today. I'm surprised. And I will share this ideation to business plan, the last of the sessions today. Now, as a beginner's guide to startup webinar series, in the phase 1, we have run through the ideation and design thinking, identifying the opportunities, business canvas and feasibility, business plan construction, the need of business plan. Last week, we ran through the whole session. And today, we will run through the business plan template, and also we have a surprise case study for you, which is a real existing company. This team is logging in from Hyderabad, and this is a real study and learning for everyone who are here. So we proceed. The disclaimer and copyright. Now, for the freshers who have joined today, we are in the webinar 5, but we have already run through the webinars in the series from ideation to creation to implementation, and we are moving ahead with incubation and funding for startups and entrepreneurs. Now, I'll run through in a capsule all the webinar series, what we ran through earlier or what we did earlier. The first one was ideation and design thinking. That's where the creation of the idea or the thought begins. From there, how to identify the ideas, how to group them out, how to filter it, and how to bring them to a level where we go to the business canvas level, model canvas level. We worked on this. And also we looked into the design thinking, because design thinking is one of a critical factor to make the present day competitive world startups successful. And in today's case study also, you can see how design thinking is used, and the promoters will discuss how they looked at the challenges and converted those challenges into opportunities and to a real business company in existence. Now, yes, that's true. We have around 2,500 to 3,000 plus thoughts per hour. Our thoughts are huge, very powerful. Only thing is we need to start identifying these thoughts. Moving further, we looked into a stage gate development funnel where we have tens of ideas coming in, and then we filter it to the stage 2, where we bring it to the business canvas model level and SWOT analysis, and then we move into a business plan and we get into real-time implementation. Now, let's look at the design thinking, what we have already run through for 2 hours. And design thinking itself is a huge, huge, huge domain, which will take days and days to understand. And that's how the multinational companies come up with new products and new services. Now, design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that integrates the needs of people with possibilities of technology and requirements for business success. Let's understand, without design thinking, it is difficult for us to move forward in the present competitive world. Why design thinking? And this slide I repeat again and again and again. Many new businesses fail. Starting a business or a startup is a lot harder than most of us think. Very rarely businesses are in tune with its customers. Every month, around 3+ crore new businesses start. Less than 2 years, 30% die. Less than 5 years, 30% die. 25% stand for 15 years and then die. 15% make it more than 15 years, and only 5% make it big. And today we will give you an example of how a real-time case study at the end of the session, how this company is going to be big in future. Now, design thinking focus is human-centric, and it has to have empathy. It needs to identify customers' pain point and then understand that you and the customer are going to be we. Now, that's the focus of design thinking. Webinar 2, we went on looking at options and solutions. How do we identify the opportunities? The genesis of opportunity is all around us. We don't have to go and identify and ask people what type of business we have to do, where it is, what is the challenge, how we need to identify. No, just keep all your senses open. There are opportunities all around you. All around you, when I say, you take any challenge you have. I have a challenge of getting food to my home and it is raining heavily. That's where the Swiggies and Zomatos are born. That's where the home delivery is coming. I have a challenge of a driver not coming in, but I have to reach a place. And in this traffic, I have a lot of work to be completed in the car. That's where the Olas and Ubers have come in. So look at the opportunities all around you. Every problem you have, you get a solution. Every opportunity you have, you can convert that into a revenue model. For any opportunity or success or failure, idea is 5%, execution is 95%. Today, you will acknowledge what I am repeating. 5% is idea, execution is 95%. Recap of webinar 3, the importance of business model canvas, the SWOT analysis, the feasibility and viability. And we looked into some real-time startup case studies also. And the business model canvas. Now, if I'm right, most of us who are today attending the session are aware of the business model canvas. They have done the business model canvas. Most of them have sent it back to us. We have also supported them in removing the errors and correcting it and mastering the business model canvas so that the business model canvas is ready to move to mature to the business plan. Now, business model canvas is the first phase of identifying your organization or the startup or the product or the service is going to be viable or feasible, or we can proceed or not. That's the first phase. We looked into the business model canvas of Swiggy. We looked at the partners, we looked at the activities, we looked at resources, propositions, customer relationships and segments, the cost structures and the revenue streams. And in focus, we looked from the priority of business model canvas. The first priority is value proposition. Focus on what you're delivering. What is the product or service you are giving? And second comes the customer segments. Who are going to pay for your product and services? Then how are you going to reach them through the channels? And what is the relationship you need to look in? If we understand, we had a fantastic video of maintenance. Starting anything is easy, closing anything is easy, but maintenance is the toughest job in any business or any relationship or any activity. We looked into the revenue streams, where the money is coming from. Now, the key resources to make all these 5 happen, what are the key resources required? We need people, we need funds, we need plant and machinery, we need XYZ resources. Then there are partners, internal and external partners. Internal partners are like strategic investors, strategic team, the employees, the stakeholders. Externals or the vendors or the suppliers for us or the government. These are the partners we have. Key activities. Now, the whole activity to deliver the product or the service, are we a product company or a service organization? Based on these, all these activities change. Now, the cost structure, this is an important factor. The expenditures or the investments which we are looking in. So this is a repeat of business model canvas I'm running through so that it sinks inside your brain, it sinks inside your head, it sinks inside your thought so that it gets concrete, because business model canvas is the first seed which you sow. We have feasibility, which is a short-term profitability, and viability is a long-term profitability and sustainability. These 2 things have to be looked in. Yes, we have in the feasibility analysis, we have an organizational, financial, and market feasibilities. All these 3 feasibilities have to be studied so that we grow in a healthy manner. We have a fantastic small tool, but a very powerful tool called a SWOT analysis. Most of us have done. I think we did a homework of SWOT analysis of ourselves as promoters or entrepreneurs or professionals, and SWOT analysis of our startup or the organization. Now, we also saw how we need to convert the weaknesses into strengths and threats into opportunities, and then create adding value to these. From weaknesses, add value to your product or service. From threats, convert into opportunities to add value there. Now, this is a fantastic move which we need to focus on. When we put the SWOT analysis, come out with how to overcome the weaknesses, how to use the threats and convert them into opportunities. We did a SWOT analysis of Samsung. If you look at Samsung SWOT analysis, it's very huge, but this is a crispy SWOT analysis for you to understand, which we ran through last time. Now, path to wealth creation. Now, this is starting with idea, building the business plan model canvas, SWOT analysis, checking whether it is feasible or not feasible. Feasible means it should be profitable. Viable means it has to be sustainable. Now, once you run through all this, you convert all these data into a business plan. Once we convert this into a business plan, that's where we get into the proof of concept and testing. Fine. Today we have a webinar 5, which talks about the business plan construction. We get into detail of business plan template, and we run through a spicy wagon real-time startup. Fine. Now, I have a lot of questions where people are asking about this. Because of the lockdown, we are not able to do anything. Because of the lockdown, we are not able to do anything. Because of the pandemic, we have gone down. There are no opportunities. But I just thought I need to bring this to all the team members. I have a challenge. Fine. Okay. Now we have a lockdown scenario where we look in, like COVID-19 deaths are decreasing, recoveries are increasing, markets shall boom. Definitely they shall boom because of the bull market. India is a matured market if you look in. We do not have any challenges of the market in India because it has matured at different levels. We have coped up with the industry. Now growth shall be good, jobs shall increase. Let's understand, nothing lower than this low can happen to us. Nothing lower than this low can happen below this. Everything which goes down has to come up. We don't have a choice. Let's understand.
So are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
There's a background sound of you, Safina, please.
Safina, can I share it? Safina, do you want me to share it?
Sir,
I think you better share it, Mr. Hafiz bhai.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So let's go back to the last slide, please. Yes. So we were looking in, a lot of people were talking about the challenges of post-lockdown scenario. So let's understand, we are not going to be very long in this. It's a matter of time. We have to bounce back. We have a strong economy. We have strong markets. We have enough resources. We have enough technology. We have enough matured markets. And that's where we are definitely going to come back. Let's look back. Any scenario, earlier scenarios, any of the depressions we had, any of the recessions we had, India has bounced back the fastest because the major factor of India's success is its markets. So we need not worry about doing any startup as we move on. Yes, why startups are failing? Because we imitate existing successful startups or ideas or business, no validation or feasibility check, no understanding of markets, customer segments, or the geography. We don't do a SWOT analysis or feasibility is not done. No different or newness in thinking, no design thinking or customer empathy, no patience or time for planning. Now, this is a very important factor. That's the reason we are running this series, giving importance for planning. Next, please. Yes, never start a project until all resources are available. For that, you need to plan for your resources. Next, please. Now, how to make it big? Every one of us want to make it big. Now, let's understand. big begins with a plan, a business plan. A plan, when we talk about, these are the small level of planning. Those are the SWOT analysis. We have a business model canvas. Then we have different analytical tools of feasibility analysis. These are all the basic things for creating a business plan. Now, we need to do proper research. We need to evaluate. We need to run the feasibility. We need to create a prototype, test, rework, pull out all the errors and bugs of the systems, smoothen the processes, then test again, and then go for launch. Only then you can reach your success or final goal. So planning is the foundation for success. Next, please. Now, do we need a business plan? Let's understand this. Business plan is the way to convert idea to reality. Business plan gives you a momentum, a little push in the right direction makes a big difference. I'm telling you, a big difference. Why we need a business plan? It's because we need to build our own mindset of entrepreneurship. We have been working, or we have been students, we have been in the corporate. Now from there to take the responsibility of entrepreneurship is a biggest challenge. Now to build our own mindset, we need to start putting down the whole business plan. The whole entrepreneurship brutal focus is required to get in and implement this business plan. Today's business plan template, we are going to run through, I think, just go back, please. Yeah. Today we are running a business plan template. I would request to go back and can I share the screen now? You cannot start sharing with other participant is sharing. Okay. Can I share the screen, sir? Let's try.
Please go ahead, Jani bhai.
Yeah. Now, I think we have a challenge. Let's go ahead with yourself.
Yeah, what do you want me to share now?
Yeah, business plan template.
Template, okay, done.
Yes. Now the business plan template, you have the flow of business plan like this. You have the introductions, executive summaries, markets and customers, competitive landscape, business and revenue models, management team and advisors, financial projections, possible exits, timelines, and summary. This covers 360 degrees of the business model, 360 degrees of the whole organization. It's like you start with your company name. You need to give all the titles of who is the director, who is the CEO, who is the COO, who is operations, who is marketing head, who is a technical head, who is the CTO. You need to give all these details with the industry and the sector focus, what you're looking out for, and then the coordinates of all the promoters and the key strategic people. Next. You need to give an introduction. What does your company do? Answer these questions. This template will be given to you. You just answer these questions. What does your company do? What are the products or services offered by you? What is the identified need addressed by your product or service. Why is the product or service compelling? Your product will alone enable this solution, and this is the problem. Now, for the first three questions, we have already run this in the business model canvas. We have already done it. So you have to take them from there to this slide. Now, why is the product, no, go back, please. Why is the product or service compelling? Now, here you need to give an example like, this is a problem. I have a problem to go and reach the metro station. Now, from here, I don't get autos. How do I go? Do I have an app or an auto or a two-wheeler who can drop me there? Can I call for a two-wheeler where they can pick me up and drop me at the metro? You need to create a situation of the problem and then give a solution for it. Whatever the problem is there, you need to describe that and then give a possible solution. Now that problem, solving that problem is an opportunity for you. And giving a solution for that is the challenge which you are attending, and you are addressing the customer, and that is your value proposition. Next. What is your product? Now, you may ask why the same question is getting repeated. No, it is not the same question. You need to understand, there you define the product. Now here you get into a little bit of detail of what your product is. Describe the need and significance or need for the product or service. You need to understand needs are different, wants are different. So you need to describe the need and significance or need for the product or service. For example, my need is, my want is, I want to quench my thirst. I want to quench my thirst. It's a want. Now, want, I'll convert into a need, wherein to satisfy my want, I have a need where I have water, I have milk, I have cold drink, I have juice. So there are many options to quench my thirst. So you have the opportunity of quenching your thirst with these many options. So you need to be very clear and describe the significance or need of the product or service. Why, what is that you're addressing, and what are the options and how you want to attend to it. Describe why now is the right time for the launch of your product or service. Provide a problem or a need scenario that provides a basis for the product or service. Now, earlier you gave what the problem is, what the solution is. Now here you are giving the problem, solution, and the reason for your product and service, whether this is the right time to launch or not. You need to understand that. Fine. Now that will give your own self, like, what is the right time? Am I launching the product before time, or am I launching the product? If I'm launching a product of 5G, a mobile or a technology of 5G, wherein the 5G is not yet launched, do you think will it be successful? No. So you need to time your product for the launch as per the market's requirements, as per the customer's requirements. If you launch later, then you will have more competitors. If you launch before, the market will not accept. By the time you come to the market, you're dead. You will lose all your resources. That's the reason you need to be very clear what is the right time for launch of your product. There are many products which I have experienced were launched before the time frame and they died. There were some products which were launched later, but the competition ate them off. So you need to be very clear to define what is the right time and why this is the right time for launch of this product. Next. Fine. Now, the solution, you have given the problem there. Now this is a solution. Clearly, please describe the company's product or service to address the need or opportunity or problem. You get into detail now. Earlier it was a problem and a solution, need and a want. Now you move to the level where it is a company. How your company can look at the bigger perspective of solving the customer segment. Now the game has gone a little bigger. How you are going to take this product or service to address the need and opportunity or the problem of that segment. You are going for a bigger segment here. Briefly list the features, benefits, and advantages of your product. There is a sample chart which we will give further. Now, what is the value proposition for the customer? How well will the product or service solve the problem? Now, you need to give the advantages and disadvantages or advantages of your product and service here. Now, are you saving the cost? Are you giving the convenience? Are you reliable? Or are you solving a challenge which it will save time for them? Or are you going to solve a problem which is going to be a shortcut, or it's going to attend to the pain, or it is going to give the benefit and value addition to the customer, or it is enhancing a customer experience? These things you need to briefly describe. The features and benefits. There is a chart which you will see there. Describe barriers to entry. Yes. Now, what is so special about you that other people cannot come in easily into the business? You need to understand that. If it is a common factor, I can start a darshini, every other person can start a darshini. If I have to start a concept restaurant, then it is little tough for everyone to enter it. Now, barriers to entry are a real important factors, and these barriers to entry will come when you have a patent, you have a unique technology, when you have a unique selling proposition, or you have a unique feature. Of late, you can see there are a lot of products coming up with, like, immune building products, immune building solution, immune building technologies, UV technology, wherein it will kill all the viruses. You have a lot of medicines which tell you have enhanced COVID-19 vitamins or whatever it is, proteins or whatever. You have proteins also coming with COVID-19 virus killing, and vitamins coming with it. You have a lot of juices coming with it. You have a lot of medicines which have come in. Everywhere you can see, anti-virus or immunity developing products which are coming in. So you need to identify and tell what is the uniqueness of your product. What is so unique that other people, it takes competitors to come in, it takes a lot of time. Next. These are the features and benefits of your product or service which you need to present out. All the features, all the benefits. For example, you have a mobile, you can put all the features and you can see the benefits. Then go to the next product, competitor product. You can put all their features and the benefits. As we move forward, I'll show you how the competitive matrix is done. Next. Provide an understandable and practical example how your product or service works. Now here, in this, you have to go step by step. It's like you need to give unit by unit. Just like in comics, how we have father spoke like this, son spoke like this, mother spoke like this, teacher spoke like this, student, he talks like this. How we have in cartoons or how we have in comics, step by step, the same way you need to explain here how your product will move from your organization or your service from your organization to the customer. You need to create a conversation technology. You need to create a conversational relationship. You need to create and put a conversational product or service details here so that it will help you understand, like, what are the challenges you will get, what are the frequent answer questions you get, to answer them, FAQs, frequently asked questions. All these will come when you get into detail. There's a saying, there is a devil sitting in the details. So you need to get into the details of creating a practical example how a product or service, step by step, it reaches the customer. If you look in, yes, if I'm in Zomato, I will look in, like, from, if I have to check into the delivery, how my executive will move from wherever he is to the restaurant, how he will put his number there, how he will collect the product, then how he will reach the customer, and how he will call the customer if he is not able to understand or get the specific apartment or house, then how he will reach there, how he will deliver, how he will compliment him, how he will get any thing to be collected from him, money or feedback or anything, then how he will close the transaction telling it is delivered. Now the whole tracking system, step by step, has to be mentioned out. This is a very important factor for you to work on the operational costs, operational challenges. Next. Now, company status and progress. Now let's get into the details. From the customer, we come into the company status. What is your domain expertise of management and staff? Who are the directors? Who are the promoters? Who are the founders? What is their background? What is their technology background? What is their experience? How many years they have worked in the industry? What is their expertise? Are they only young guys building up the company, or these are experts from the industry come out and building the company? Or is it a combination of experienced and youngsters together building the company? So we will get all these details once we get in to know the management and staff and expertise in that specific domain. Now, customers and contracts established. Do we have letters of intent? Now, before I get into production there, do I have a customer ready who has given a letter of intent saying, if you produce this much, I'm going to buy this much? Because these letter of intents will help you to raise funds with the funding institutions or the investors or the banks. Now, that letter of intent is nothing but an order in front of you, so that you have an order. If you produce this product, they are going to buy. Now, keeping that order on hand, a letter of intent on hand, it is easier for the investor or the bank or a funding institution to fund you at what order completion, how much to fund you. Now, this is very important. The letter of intent and partnerships are really important. Strategic partnerships established. Do you have strategic partnerships with, for example, you're getting into a food business? Do you have strategic partnerships with the restaurants in the area? Do you have strategic partnership with the delivery company? Is Dunzo going to give you the delivery, or Zomato is going to give you the delivery, or whoever is delivering it? Or are we having someone, like if we are in food business, do we have kitchen attached to us, or do we have the suppliers attached to us? Now, for example, I have a watch manufacturing company like Titan. Now, are there any established strategic partnerships for getting the products, OEMs and technology for assembling? You need to be very clear. Strategic partnerships will give you value for your organization, product or service. Now, when you have strategic partnerships, the people who are coming to fund you will be very comfortable, and it is de-risked. They come with a very comfortable mind. They know a strategic partner is there. That means there is a proper supply. That means there is proper relationship that will help this organization to move to the next level. Product development status. If you are in a new product, if it is applicable for you, you need to describe the milestones of the product, from where it has reached where, whether you are in concept stage, whether you are in idea stage, whether you are in alpha stage, or you are in testing, or you are almost into launching it. So you need to have, or you're having just proof of concept, or you are real time launching the product, you have launched and you want to enhance on the features. So your product development status is very, very important if you are in a technology and product related organization. Now, other significant informations to validate or reduce risk. Today, just I was asking someone, right? Experience in an organization will reduce the risk. Expertise in technology, which you have already delivered, will reduce the risk. Now, in general, we say if women are involved in an organization or a startup, the risk reduces by 10%. If we have people with certain responsibilities, the risk will reduce. If people have delivered the technologies earlier, they have done a startup, they have sold it for profit, and again they are doing a startup, my risk is reduced. Yes, important factor. If I have an entrepreneur who has failed in his previous startup, then we bet on him because the risk reduces. He will not repeat the mistakes what he has repeated earlier. I repeat, an entrepreneur or a startup who has started for various reasons, if he has not taken off, he is a good bet because he will not repeat that mistake. That mistake is the risk reduced. So we need to have a significant information to validate how we can reduce the risk. Next. Now the markets. The markets are nothing but the customer segments. Describe the estimated market size. This is the macro which we are talking about. Now, usually when we talk about, the market size is to bring the conical structure for the person who is sitting on the opposite side. Let it be an investor, let it be an organization partner or a strategic partner or a vendor. It is a feel-good factor for him to understand what is the market size, what is the growth, what are the trends and maturity for this business idea. That's why we keep asking, do you have a product roadmap? Do you have a market roadmap, marketing roadmap? Do you have a technology roadmap? Because we will see from today, what are the trends which are going to happen 10 years down the line? Fine. Now we also have industry and market segment data. Now we have it in the slide given, so you can look into it. Then market challenges, what market segment we are addressing, how the market segment is served by the product or service. Now, in the business model canvas, we spoke about value proposition and the customer segments. Now, in these two, there is a channel which moves the product or service from the value proposition, what you have, to the customer. Now, what are the challenges you have to deliver the product or service? We need to understand that. What is the potential in the market for the product or service? Do we have a potential to go and take this same product for 10 years, for 20 years, or every 5 years we need to add new products to this organization? So we need to have a product roadmap along with a market roadmap so that we can match this product and market and see to what extent we can move ahead. Now, estimates the revenue growth in graphic or tabular form, which is easily understandable for every common man. You put lot of Excel sheet and numbers and you tell, please read. The investor will look in and then he will say, okay, I'll get back to you. Because he will have only few minutes to understand to move to the next level. Now, you need to use a lot of graphic and tabular forms so that it is easily understandable. Fine. Market share projections to be shared if available. Just go back and see. There are a lot of market data where Deloitte is giving, PwC is giving, CMI is giving. We have government industries, department are giving. Please look into all these data and analyze what the market potential is. what the market is going to be, where the technology is going to be. Based on this, your product and market roadmaps are done. Believe me, companies like Google, Facebooks, Microsofts, Nestle's, you have Unilever's, Reliance, Tata's, everyone, they look into these documents and research papers by these big organizations who do research, and they take that as a Bible to understand where their companies have to go. They will use that data to use them in real-time decision making. Next. Now, this is a global market for your product or service. If it is a global market, look at the countries. What is the demand? Check what is to be done, country-wise, region-wise. Next. Next, sir. Okay, we looked at the global side. Now, coming back to the Indian market, look at the regions. Is it north, south, east, west, or state-wise you take? Rank them, which has the most potential. For example, the new technology acceptance is high in the north and west. That comes first. Then in the south, you come to Karnataka. Then you go little bit of slow laggards are like conservative states. Sometimes we categorize the launch of the products as per the cities. Now, cities like Delhi, Bombay, Pune, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore, or Ahmedabad, these are like 7 to 10 cities in the country, which are the first new product launch beds. Then we go to the next level of the cities. So we need to focus, if we are getting into the Indian market, we need to focus which are category A, which are B, and which are C. Tier 1, cosmopolitan and metropolitan, Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 cities. So you need to be very, very, very clear in doing the secondary and primary research so that you get a clear segment-wise, market-wise data. This will help you to work on your estimates and then create a roadmap for your product. Next. Now, the customers. I think in the business model canvas, we had a clear customer segments. Now, here you get in and identify what is the profile of the optimal customer. Are you delivering the product or service to the elite, or to the executives, or to the business class, or to the higher middle class, or the middle class, or at the grassroots level? Just you need to take the pyramid and understand who is your customer, profile your customers. Now, based on the profile of the customers, your value proposition or the product will come in. And if your profile of the customer, your product, both of them match, then the customer acceptance happens and you will be faster to reach the market. Now, also get into customer feedbacks, do a survey data, collect the survey data from secondary resources, and also you go on the field and convert those questionnaires or your questions or all the tools to get the data from the grassroots level before you move to the next level. And if you have done a proof of concept, you take the testimonials from the customers, and then you can take that testimonials and move to the next level of launching your product. Check who are your purchasers, who will purchase, what are the letter of intents you get, who is going to partner with you. For example, I'm launching a coffee powder with a cup, and it's going to be a premium coffee. I'm going to partner with all the airlines. because that single partnership will give me a premium price for my premium coffee, and it will reach the exact customer segment what I wanted. So you identify your partners whom you're going to tie up with. Now, example of a customer, you can give a list of customer examples who are going to be as per the profile of your customers which are in front or we just spoke about. Next. Now, this is really, really, really important. Every promoter thinks that his product or service is unique. His product or service has no competition. His product or service is going to be great. His product or service will last for the next 5 or 10 years to make millions. But believe me, you launch the product, there are 110 people who want to create it. I think there is some malware happening. Okay. Now, how you are going to take this, your product and service, and take it to the level where you have an advantage in the competitive matrix, that is a challenge. The direct, that is competing products or service, direct and indirect competitions, which are alternative solutions for your company and its product or service. Now, the direct, when I talk about direct, yes, the direct, for example, I have a bottle of Bisleri. Now, when I have a bottle of Bisleri, I have a competitive direct product of Kinley, I have Aquafina, I have many products, which is water itself. Water bottle of different brands are direct competition. Now, the same one, I have a water, but I have a fizz drink, I have a cola, I have fresh juice, I have Tetra Pak. Now, all these are indirect competitive products. So you need to be very clear, who is your competition? To what extent are your direct competitors? To what extent are the alternative solutions for your product or service? Now, specific strengths, weaknesses, opportunities of the competition. Now, you need to create a SWOT analysis of every competitor you have. SWOT analysis of every competitor, so that you can see where you are, where your competitor is. You can identify both of them and then move ahead. Describe how your product, technology, or service differentiates itself from the competition. What is the uniqueness? I think we spoke about the features and the benefits. Now here, take the product. You have a direct product. What is the uniqueness competing with them? You have indirect product. What is the uniqueness you are competing with them? Why should the customer buy your product? You need to look into this. Fine. Now describe your company's competitive advantage. Competitive advantage, it can be your team, it can be technology, it can be product or service. You need to understand what is the competitive advantage you have compared to your competitors. Why you believe your customers will buy your product or service over other products, other competitions, direct and indirect. So you need to create a complete matrix. I think we go to the next. We have, yes, competitive comparison, product A, B, C, advantages and disadvantages, and where your company product is. Next. So you have a competitive matrix, features and product wise. You have different features, you have different products. Product 1 is of one company, product 2 is of another company, product 3 is of another company. Probably product 1, 2, 3 are direct competitors, product 4, 5, 6 are indirect competitors. So you need to identify and create this matrix for your advantage. Next. Now, competitive positioning, you need to present out where do you stand, flexibility, functionality, the cost wise, the benefit wise, the advantages and disadvantages, various factors can be worked on when you position your product. Next, business model and marketing plan. Fine. Now we spoke about the competition. Now here, how are we going to create our own business model or the revenue model, and how we are going to reach the market? Now, reaching your customer segment, you need to have a plan to move before the customer. Let's understand, you have a product or service, you need to communicate to your customer segment. Now, you can communicate to your customer segment through social media, through advertising, through direct calls, direct sales and sales teams, or you can create indirect need and want for your customer. So you have a product, you need to reach your customer segment. Now you need to be very clear of step by step, you need to mention that. Now, where you're going to collect the money that comes from the business model, and how you will reach the customer, the marketing plan will support you out. Now here, describe the company's business and revenue model. What is the overall business strategy? Are you going to be a product company, service company? Or are you going to give the product free and charge for service? Or do you have a one-time sale and then every annual maintenance you make the money? You need to be very clear what strategy you're going to move forward with. How will the product or service be sold? Through channel, through internet, or through franchisees, or through own company outlets? So you need to come out with a channel, how we are going to reach the customers in the geographies. How will the company generate revenue for the product or service? So as I told you, whether it's going to be a one-time or a monthly or a subscription base or one-time sale and after sales, or just sell one time and forget it. Now describe the sales cycle for the product or service. Sales cycle is like from the time you create a product and until the customer buys it and the cash comes to you. The sales cycle is different from a marketing cycle. Sales cycle is part of the marketing cycle. Sales activity is part of the marketing activity. So you need to be very clear. Sales is the one which will convert all your marketing efforts into revenue. Now, sales is nothing but the last point where the customer gives you the money. Fine. Now, going back to the markets, describe the marketing plan. Yes, it is appropriate. You need to get in. What is go-to-market strategy? Today, you will see in the case study, go-to-market strategy, how these folks are getting into. How will you access your customers, including advertisements and promotions? How will your product or service be distributed? What is the customer support that will be needed? Fine. Mention any commitment from partners, distributors, granting agencies regarding benefits of your product if available. How you are going to partner them, how you are going to benefit them. Are you going to give discounts? Are you going to give commissions? Are you going to give exclusive authority as an agency? So there are different ways how you are going to market your product. Next, please. Regulatory issues, government licenses, approvals, these are all statutory requirements which are compulsory required. You need to put across if you have patents, copyrights, trademarks, you have any regulations. If you are in liquor, it's different. If you are in gold or commodities, it is different. If you are in a drug area where it is a generic drug, it is different. It is a specialized drug, it is different. So you have different licenses and approvals. If it is a food item, it is different. If it is an item which you are applying on the skin, it's different. So there are different regulatory issues. These are the external things, but these are statutory requirements. Next. Management team and advisors. Management team is nothing but people. whoever is going to invest or whoever is going to look into you, they are going to look into the team first. And who are the advisors? Now, just like what Shakespeare said, please show me 10 friends of yours, I'll tell you who you are. So please understand that. Credentials, proven track record, domain experience, these are important. Describe, I think we discussed this, describe the skill and experience, gap to be filled. You have a technology person, you have a marketing person, you don't have an operations person. That is a gap you need to fill in. You have technology, you have operations, you don't have a strategic person. That's a gap. Please, you need to mention that. List the company's leadership team. Include the names, designations, experience, all of them. These are credential experts you need to give. If you have consultants, if you have mentors, if you have coach, if you have investors, you need to mention all the credentials of the experts. Next. Financial projections. Now, these are the tough times. Financial projections is not tough. Let's understand. Someone is selling, someone is buying. There's a transaction happening. Now, there is a cost of the product and they are selling it at X price. Now, the amount which is realized from the customer or what the amount customer gives is the revenue. If you remove the cost of the product is the cost, it will give you a gross profit. And in that, if you pay out taxes, then that is net profit. Now, every customer's transaction, what you build on, it is like, what is the cost you are collecting from the customer on a daily basis? How many customers? On a monthly basis, how many customers? On an annual basis, how many customers? If all these customers' data is collected, how much amount is coming in, that will give you what is your revenue. And all the expenses on one side of the product, of your factory, of your machinery, of your marketing, of your people, of your operations, everything is an expense. If you add all of that, that will become an expense. Now, both of these will give you profitability. Now, when you put this, you need to put this data for week-wise, month-wise, quarter-wise, year-wise. You need to use a lot of Excel and activity and start putting this data so that this will give the financial projections. Fine. Year on year, month on month, quarter on quarter. And wherever required, please ask for help and take support of chartered accountants and professionals or any experts or mentors. Now, can the company scale operations as it grows? Now, that's a challenge. An entrepreneur who is of a startup can go up to a level of 50 or 100. After 100 customers, then reaching 500 customers, you need a different skill. Reaching 5,000 customers, you need a different skill set. As a CEO and promoter, you also need to keep learning all the time. Else, please start getting experts and then take your organization to the next level. Fine. So you don't have to worry. I started it. I'm scared of scaling it. No, get the experts. Take them to the next level. They will help you. Professionals are there. Ask for help. Ask for external support. Ask for internal support. Until you don't ask, you can't scale up faster. Fine. List major facts and assumptions. Are the assumptions believable and achievable? For example, my assumption is I will sell this product 100 on a daily basis. It's an assumption. For that assumption, I need to give data. I need to support with my marketing plan. I need to support with my production plan. I need to support with my financial plan. So I give an assumption then I need to support with all of this data. So whatever assumptions you're making, they need to be achievable. If I'm able to sell 100 chocolates a day, just don't put in one outlet, I can sell 1,000 chocolates per day. Not possible. So you need to have any data which is believable and achievable, or rather it should be pragmatic and real time. Next. Now, all the data, what you make it, what I was talking about, this is what it is. Revenues, cost of goods sold, gross profit, operating expenses, net income or loss. Now, all this data, this is a summary of all the homework, what you have done. Fine. Now, when you bring all the data from Excel, this is what you put across. This is how it looks, the final one. Next. The same financial projections of your break-even is like your fixed cost, your variable costs, where the costs and the revenue break even, where whatever your costs are, you are able to recover. That's where the break-even point is. Now, if you are not aware of this, please talk to some financial expert or your auditor or your CA. They will help you out. Next. Now, this is important, right? Now, all that today, what we talk about is like funding. To scale up any business we start, but to scale up and reach faster so that we have reached our goal before the competition comes in, we need funding. Funding is like fuel, or like when you're doing a bodybuilding, you take a lot of powder or a lot of proteins. Fine. Now, what is funding received by the company till date? How will the company be financed going further? Whether it's going for debt, it is going for equity, or whether it's going for convertible debentures, it's like half loan and debt and half equity. You need to be very clear on that. Fine. What funds is the company currently seeking from investors? How much they want? Whether they want 50 lakhs, they want 1 crore, they want 5 crores, they want 10 crores. Now, how will that funds be deployed and used? That's more important. What key value building milestones will be achieved with funds? Are you reaching the market? Are you testing the market? Or are you expanding the market? So of late, let me put across that testing of the market, you have to do it on your own with your family and friends investing in it. The funds are hugely available once the proof of concept is there, once the market and the product is accepted. To expand and grow, there are funds available. Or if you are a technology, if you are a technocrat and you want a fund to get into prototyping and you are sure about your patent, you have a patent and you are sure about commercializing that patent, even in the initial stages also, you will get the fund. Now, what are the anticipated future funding needs of the company? You need to have a complete financial plan for the next 5 years. You have the revenues projections, you have the expenses, you have the profit coming in. Initially, 1 or 2 years, there's going to be a loss. Then for that, what are the fundings required over a period of time, over 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? So we need to have that complete financial cash flows and fund flows so that we have a very clear structure of when the fund should come in and where it will be deployed, when it will be deployed. Now, once you deploy, yes, I'm looking into profits. Now, I can deploy 1 crore for a period of 1 year or 2 years. Now, after that, the company's valuation and the customer base has gone from 1,000 customers to 5,000 customers over a period of 2 years. Now, because the customers have gone up, the revenues have increased, the valuation of the company also grows. Now, I want to exit out from that company by selling my shares to another investor or to the promoters itself. Now, what should the company give me an exit strategy if I am investing in it? Or are you going to take the fund from somewhere else and give it to me? Or are you generating revenue and give it to me? Or are you going to give part to me and part you want to retain it? Or you're going for an IPO and list it on a stock exchange and take the money and give it to me? So you need to be very clear about the exit strategies. Now, what is expected return on investment for investors? If I invest in bank, I'll get a FD of 8%. If I invest in listed securities or shares of the companies on stock market, I'll get anywhere between 10 to 15. Volume. Start from 50. Thank you, Afish sir, for running the PPT and the video. Now I invite the team who is the case study today, to come online, and then can Vivek, can you handle the share screening? Are you there?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
can the technical team open the share screen for him?
Sir, yes, sir. I'll share the screen from here, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. You introduce yourself. I am not spending time introducing you.
Sir, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Vivek. Salam. We are working on a startup called Spicy Vegan. It's a concept we started in 2017 to produce to deliver food on trains. It's similar business model to Swiggy and Zomato, but it is exclusively for Indian Railways. Let me share the pitch and I can take you through it. Sir, can you see the screen, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sure. Should I go through the pitch, sir, completely from the beginning?
Yes. Run through it. You have 20 minutes now.
All right, sir.
15 20.
So to initially address the problem on Indian Railways, everyone must be aware of the problem that we have been facing from many years on Indian Railways. One of it being the availability of quality food on Indian Railways. I don't need to go much more deeper into it. Everyone have been on one of those train journeys where we had those pantry car food and we ended up being sick or ended up spoiling the entire holiday for the family. So to look at the problem, I've put down some numbers here. In India, around 1.6 billion passengers travel on suburban trains in the last fiscal year. And this number is only the upper class and sleeper class. If we have to talk about the entire Indian Railway passengers, there are almost 8.8 billion who travel on Indian trains. That's almost equal to the population of our world. And to address this issue, Indian Railways have been trying very hard from a very long time. It's one of the key issues they've been discussing in the parliament as well. Because of the fire safety issues and the place, there are like no pantry cars in some of the trains, and recently they are even discussing to remove all the pantry cars in the trains. Because of the pandemic, the revenue hit on Indian Railways has been like huge. So they are actually thinking to convert that pantry car coach into the normal coach so they can sell the tickets. So in as of March 2019, there are almost 1,600 superfast and mail express trains with no pantry cars. These are the trains where we are like initially focusing on, and we might wonder like how these people are surviving in the long distance trains. So in Indian Railways, the term long distance comes into the picture when they travel more than 1,000 kilometers. So these passengers mostly rely on TSV, it's called train side vending, and static catering and base kitchens that are available inside the station. These people have to compromise on the quality of food because of the high licenses fees, and if we have to set up a kitchen inside the station, it normally starts from 1 crore or 1.5 crore. That itself is the license fee that a kitchen has to pay to the Indian Railways. When the kitchen is paying that huge amount of money to Indian Railways for that space, they have to compromise on the quality. They can never provide quality food unless or until they price it at 300 or 500 rupees, which is very hard for passengers to buy that kind of food. So these are the problems Spicy Vegan is addressing as of now. The solution, if we come to the solution, what we have decided initially is rather than setting up cloud kitchens, spending huge money on the entire setup and everything, we decided we are going to bring railways and restaurants together. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, sir. All right. So the solution here is bringing railways and restaurants together. IRCTC in 2016 has introduced e-catering. E-catering basically means the catering which can be available through electronically, that you must be aware of. And in 2016, when IRCTC came up with the plan to onboard restaurants at every station, they forgot about the biggest problem, the logistics. Who are going to address the logistics issue? If I'm a restaurant and I want to tie up with Indian Railways, well and good, but who is going to deliver the food? As a restaurant, logistics is not my headache, and railways is not supposed to do business. They are only supposed to do business inside the railway station. So in 2016, they have issued a EOI, expression of interest, for food delivery companies to join IRCTC as food aggregators. They were expecting food delivery companies like Spicy Vegan or Zomato or Swiggy to come on board and help with the entire food delivery system that's been an issue for a very long time. Why Spicy Vegan is different from other aggregators? We initially figured out that what's the point of delivering them the same food that it is available already on the train. If I have to buy a plate of biryani on the pantry car, it costs 160 rupees. If I'm delivering them the same kind of chicken biryani for 250 rupees, there is like no point. Like it's more corruption we're adding just because it's an online thing. So we decided we'll partner with the top premium quality restaurants in 5-6 kilometer radius from the railway stations. And we are the first startup to provide that food delivery with cutlery. None of them, not even Swiggy and Zomato does it. If you order biryani from a restaurant, they'll just put it in a cover and then drop it out of your door. Spicy Vegan, on the other hand, if you ordered biryani or any food, we give you cutlery with it. We'll give you a hard-based plate. We'll give you forks and spoons with it, tissue papers. And post-COVID, we are actually planning to give them a sanitized kit too. Given the current pandemic situation, passengers will be very much wary about the hygienic conditions of these pantry cars or the static kitchens that are available in the railways, because pre-COVID only they are not maintaining these hygienic standards. Post-COVID, passengers are like more wary. Where should I order food from? I can't carry food from home. Everybody can't do that. So we came up with this solution where we'll be partnering with only the top rated restaurants, people who already know what the brand is. We trust food if it's from Subway or KFC because they maintain their standards, right? If the standard's not there, you can even claim back the entire money that you spent. So this is a solution that we are focusing on. I'll get back to the logistics on how we are addressing that issue. Before that, to give you a rough idea on IRCTC, everybody must have heard about IRCTC. People, a lot of them know IRCTC as a ticket booking website. In India, not many of them are aware that IRCTC also is responsible for the entire catering business in Indian Railways. This is the basic structure of IRCTC. IRCTC has the exclusive right to operate entire food business on Indian Railways, pan-India. Anything related to food, inside the train, in the station, train side vending, even if we have to sell samosas on the platform, entire exclusivity relies on IRCTC. This is the structure. These are the main aggregators. Domino's is one of them. Fasus, you might have heard, it's a famous thing in Bangalore. And Zoop India and Rail Restro were like old food aggregators. They've been in business with IRCTC from the last 3-4 years. Spicy Vegan, on the other hand, we joined on July 2019. So it's a tender process. IRCTC issued expression of interest. Anybody with eligible criteria can apply in IRCTC to become a food aggregator. For that, you have to be a food delivery company. You had to have some revenue in the past. You had to deliver some orders. When you have checklisted all the eligibility criteria, you can apply in IRCTC to become a food aggregator. And we are the first aggregators of IRCTC to have our own delivery crew. Everybody else like Zoop or Rail Restro, any other food aggregator, they run the entire business from the restaurant itself. And we are also the first startup to onboard more than 10 restaurants at every station. This is basically the entire IRCTC's outlook. Let's go to the market validation. So like we have discussed, IRCTC started electronic online catering in 2016. That was the first time they ever started online food ordering on trains. When they started, they did 16,000 orders in the first year. In the entire year, they could only do 16,000 orders. In the last financial year, they have did 43,28,535 orders. That is almost 609 times growth. This is like one of the highest growth that's ever recorded on online e-catering or online food delivery. And why did I put this 179 million number here? Why is it so important? Because these are our audience, though. These are our target. Whom are we targeting in entire Indian Railways? We can't target everybody. We can't target the general compartment people. We can't target the short distance trains, because if I'm going from Bangalore to Chennai, it's a 5-hour journey. I won't need food. I'll have food at home and I'll just board a train. This 179 million is the number of people that travel on upper class only and on long distance trains. Like I've said before, long distance means any train that travels more than 1,000 kilometers. And 179 people last year traveled on upper class. Upper class in the sense they are like the third AC, second AC, first class. These are considered as the upper class passengers. And they have been already the highest generating income for Indian Railways completely too. And these are our target audience too. So now we are clear that we have a market to address. Now, at one side, we have that the growth rate was almost too high. In 3-4 years, they came up from 16,000 to 43 lakh orders. And we still have 179 million people to address too. So that is where Spicy Vegan is going to come into the picture. So when you people are pitching to somebody about your idea, you should be like looking at what are our target audience. Are they going to go down? Are they going to go high in the coming years? So this should be one of the key elements on how to validate the market. And like Sir explained, competitors' data is always important, not for the investors, but for you to know like who the competitors are there in the market. How many stations are they present? When did they join the RCTC? How many vendors they have? How many orders they delivered? So this is a slide which will give the entire outlook on who are doing business with RCTC, who are our competitors, when did they come, how much business they did. With analyzing all these, we can predict what our growth will be, because we have the past numbers now. So we can take that into consideration and we can figure out like what our prediction is going to be, that which you can use it in the projections later. Now, this is, you must be aware of the Gartner's Magic Quadrant graph. It basically explains how we are different from the others. If somebody is selling milk and if you're also selling the milk, what's the difference in it? We need to figure out like how we are different, right? So here in this Magic Quadrant graph, you'll understand how I analyzed our competitors and myself separately. So Spicy Vegan is different. Why? If you read it, Fusus, Domino's and Zoop India, they're expensive. To order a pizza in Domino's, it will cost you 800 rupees, 900 rupees. If you order food in Fusus, it's 500 rupees for a biryani. And Zoop India has like only one restaurant at every station. Down when you look at Rail Restro, Railfood, Commercium, these are old aggregators, provide very bad quality food and with a very limited menu. Why Spicy Vegan is different? We are focusing on packaging. We are delivering with cutlery. And our number one rule is to have more than 10 restaurants at each station. So not only will you get biryani and thali, but our main aim is to provide, if you want to eat pasta, earlier, if you want to eat pasta on Indian Railways, it was just a dream. If you want to have a milkshake in of the shake factory, it was a dream. If you want to have burger, it was a dream. Now that is where Spicy Vegan comes into the picture. We are targeting the top 10 restaurants of different cuisines. So one restaurant we set up who's the best selling of biryani. The next guy ice cream. The next restaurant we go with the sweets. If it is regional sweets, we put regional sweets there. That is why we have unlimited menu. And 10 restaurants is the minimum. For example, at Nagpur, we have partnered with more than 20 restaurants. So next time when you go through Nagpur, you'll definitely find Spicy Vegan there. And please definitely order from Spicy Vegan. You'll definitely find all the top restaurants that are there in Nagpur available for you to order on the train. So this is SWOT. SWOT is very important, not only for the investors, as the founders. You guys should know what are your strengths, what your weaknesses are, what opportunities are there in the market, and what the threats are. When you note down these things, you will initially understand, okay, what strengths do we have? Let's figure out like where we are strong at. We have multiple vendors at each station. That is one of our strengths. We select only top rated F&B brands. That is one of our strengths. We are providing real-time asset tracking on technology. No other aggregator is doing that. Quality assurance, best customer support, well-trained delivery crew. We deliver in hot insulated bags, and we make sure that the packaging is safe and hygienic, and with delivery of cutlery. These are our strengths where no other aggregator is doing. Weaknesses. Now let us be honest. Many people, when they're coming up with a startup, they think like we don't have any weaknesses. We are like very strong, very different. No, that's not true. Every business has some weakness, definitely. So what are the weaknesses here? Delivery time. Why? Because we can't track the trains. Now, recently in 2021, Ministry of Railways has announced that by 2021, every train will be tracked through satellites. So that is one of the issue Indian Railways is working on. The second weakness is many people doesn't know that they can order food online on trains. People are like still not aware of it. That is one of the weakness, because we have to spend a lot of money for them to know. And if we have to spend a lot of money, that is a burden on us. So we consider it as a weakness. And price different in the menu and apps. Many restaurants, when they are selling food in their restaurant, they're happy to sell it for the same price. When we online aggregators go to them, they change the price. So if it's 200 rupees biryani in the restaurant, they'll tell us that we'll give you for 240 rupees, because the commissions that we ask, they'll increase that price in the menu. And delivery charges. They have to pay for the delivery charges. If it is home deliveries, it's a different story. If it's a train delivery, it's a different story. The delivery boy has to pick up the food from the restaurant, and then he has to go into the station, park the bike, figure out where the train is coming to on what platform, and then he has to run to the platform, figure out where the A3 coach is, and figure out where seat number 71 is. So delivery charges are there. That is one of the weakness, because people always like free delivery online aggregators. And the next important thing is food temperature and freshness. That is a weakness for every other food aggregator, not only us, because it takes time to deliver. The freshness and the temperature, if it is 20-30 minutes, it's well and good. If it is more than 45 minutes, it's not a good idea to deliver food. You rather return it back and rather tell the customer that sorry, we couldn't deliver it because it's too late and the food's like gotten cold. Those are the strengths and weaknesses. Opportunities here. This is very interesting. Why are we in this business, first of all? What difference does it make to the people, or what difference does it make to us? What opportunities are there? Growing market for online food deliveries. It's not only for Indian Railways. Online food delivery market has been exponentially has exponential growth in the entire world. And in India, with the huge population and lot of issues, the online food delivery market went very high. If you look at into the market validation slide, when I told you when IRCTC grew 609% CAGR, it's a huge growth for any company to a point where IRCTC went public last year, and e-catering was like they're one of the main markets where they show all the shareholders why IRCTC is going to be big. They told them like we are into e-catering, so that is why we are going to be big. And demand for quality food. Now, anybody who's traveling on trains, it's journey. None of us want to upset our stomach. None of us want to get sick because we are either going on a holiday with family or we are going to meet somebody on a business purpose. If your stomach is upset, if you are sick, you won't be able to enjoy your holiday. Neither you won't be able to do anything in your business trip. So the demand for quality food by trusted brands is so high in Indian Railways. When we did our own study on Indian Railways, we went to the railway stations, we spoke with the passengers. What do you want? What are you looking for? Now you bought a ticket in third AC. Your entire journey is comfortable. What else you want? They're like, I want to eat KFC. I'd like to eat from Subway because it is healthy and it is not heavy. That is one big opportunity.
Vivek, sorry for interrupting. You have to move.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Yeah. So go through it. Sir will share this pitch, I guess, and these are the opportunities, threats. Like we already discussed, passenger awareness is low, internet availability is less, illegal train side vending, punctuality of trains. These are the threats. Now let's go to the go-to-market strategy is important for us to understand like how we see in the next 6 months or 1 year, 1.5 years. So we have to understand what are we analyzing, what is our strategy. After you decide the strategy, how are you going to execute it? And once you execute it, we need to calculate what success rate we are having once we execute all the strategies. So that is the go-to-market strategy. This is our web and app. This is how it looks. When you open Spicywagon, you need to enter your PNR number, and then after you enter your PNR number, we have a reverse integration with IRCTC. So we read every PNR numbers directly from the Indian Railways server. So we get the details of what train it is, what locations, and you get the details of the restaurants that are available, and you pay in place. It's very simple. These are the locations we are live in. Initially, we started operations in 3 stations in October. By the end of March, we are like almost live at 63 stations. We spent a lot on the expansion part. Those are all the capital expenses. And like Sir was telling, your milestone journey is very important for the investors. They need to know, what did you do? Like in May 2017, we registered the company. We started home deliveries in Feb 2018. In October 2018, we finished the eligibility criteria. We applied for IRCTC contract Jan, and then we raised our first round in August. We launched in October, and by March 2020, we delivered that number of orders. Business model, anytime when you're writing a pitch, please understand, get to that one order. How much do you make on one order? And what is the average value of that one order? Here our business model is simple. First point is we take an average of 25% commission. Second point, this is the number that we made when we did all those 9,000 orders in those 6 months. And with this business model, what are you projecting? Within the next 1 year, we are projecting this much of revenue at a growth rate of 42%. If you check our next slide, this is our growth, and this is all organic. We had 82% growth on every month from the month we started till March. So taking that number into consideration, we come up with the projections here on the third number. That is our growth. If you want to go through for a minute, in the first month we did so and so orders, December we did double, Jan double, and Feb we went on. If you can see the graph, it's like really And this is all organic. We never spent any money on marketing, did not even spend 1 rupee on it. Financial model, like sir showed us, have a 5-year financial model. It's more important for us to understand where we look ourselves in 5 years. And you come up with the cash inflows, like sir gave all the details in the template, revenue from operations, and then gross margins, outflows. We can use those templates. These are the real numbers for the first year, 2019 to 20, and the later 5 years are the projections. In part 2 are the expenses, salaries, rent, expansion costs, branding cost, electricity charges, server costs, internet costs, everything. Just make sure you just write down everything that is important. Everything, even if you want to write office pantry costs for chai and coffee, include that as well. Do not feel even take a step back on it. And EBITDA, revenue, net cash flows, discount, these are like all the valuations, how much valuation you are showing, what are the capex, what's the discount rate. It's a bit financial, but I'm sure some legal team or a CA can definitely help you with it. There are the projections, and the last but before slide, I gave information on how much we raised earlier, what date, from whom, and how much was the monthly expenditure. What are the investment that we are looking right now, and what's the runway from mid 2020 to mid 21? We are looking for so and so funds. What's the monthly expenditure? If you ask me why we need 15 to 25 lakhs monthly expenditure, go back to this slide. You'll see all the details here, how much it will cost for all the salaries, logistics, tech costs, and everything. And where are we spending that money? Now, this is a pitch deck. So pitch decks are like really small for me to finish it off in 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. But normally once investors like the pitch deck, then they'll ask for the business plan, which will be like 30, 40 pages, where they'll be asking for a very clear roadblock. Tech product, I just wrote down here, major investments, tech product, how much? How many AI, how many Android developers you need, how many DB developers you need. You have to mention it in a much more breakdown way, like business expansion. Where do you need money? How much? Logistics, marketing. Normally they have a different pitch for marketing itself on where they want to spend. This all comes later once the investor likes your idea or the product. So these are what we are looking for. Why I need funding is I just put down a basic understanding on these are the things we gonna spend money on. And the last slide, exit plans. This is very important. Every investor I've pitched to ask me about what are the exit plans. This has to be very clear in your mind. So here we are only offering 2 exit plans to an investor. One is when we go to the next round of funding, the stake will be diluted but valued at a very higher price. There will be a vesting period. After the vesting period, they can sell the stake. That is one way. The second is IPO. If you can stick with us for 5 years, we have plans to go for a public offering. So these are the 2 exit plans we are offering. We can't actually cut down or adjust in a way what investors are looking for. It's all founders first. So whatever you guys want to offer investors, you have to put your proposal. Later they'll give a counter to it. And basically in the end, like sir said, give your details in the shortest way possible. Who you are, where you did your degree from, what's your email address, who's your team. So this is basically called a pitch deck. Let me tell you, it only contains of 10 to 12 slides. Business plan normally contains 30 to 40 slides. So this is the shorter version of a business plan. Sir, you have explained it like exceptionally good, sir. If you ask me, today in that 1 hour, I've learned more than I've learned in my entire university, sir. That was really, really fantastic what you have explained, sir. Like, that is it, sir. Like, if we can understand what you have explained to us in the last 1 year, I think any investor will be like immediately be interested, sir. Like, there is like no doubt about it. It was really good, sir. Like, really good. Thank you for that, sir. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Vivek.
Sir.
you can move out of the share screen.
Sure. Yes, sir. Yes.
I really appreciate Spicy Wagon for accepting to present their case
Sure.
and give a complete presentation of whatever they have put across. This is, if we see Spicy Wagon, it is given in capsule all webinars of 5 sessions what we have done,
Sure.
starting from ideation to understanding and empathy of the customers, looking at the challenges what they have, converting that challenge into an opportunity,
Sure.
converting that opportunity into a product or service, taking this product or service and creating all your SWOT analysis and feasibility and viability, then going on the field and getting all the data, doing partnership with all the restaurants, tying up with IRCTC and tying up with technology partners, building an app and talking to the seed investor, and they also investing on their own. Then from that level moving to a level where they started up with Vizag as a test case. Then from there they moved from Vizag to other cities. Now today they operate throughout India. So it's a very fantastic organization or a startup where you can understand from ideation to the launch and now to scale up. Now, this is what we are looking out for. This is what we expect the entrepreneurs and the founders to work on. Now, this detailing has to be done, and overnight it can't happen. 2017 to 2018, 2018 to 2019 to 2020 March. It's almost like 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years they have worked on. 24/7, passionately they have worked on. You can see the voice of Vivek, the passion he talks with. It has got, in fact, he closed it in 25 minutes. And earlier when he met us, he went on for 2.5 hours or 3 hours, only with the same presentation. So please, this is a fantastic learning for all of us. Now, I would request you, whoever have completed the business model canvas, please send them and then move from there to the level of a business plan so that we can evaluate and then move further. Now, yes, the next session we are going to talk about a bonus session on naming and branding. Let's look into that. And we will also analyze Spicy Wagon's brand name and the potential to move into the market in the next weekend, along with other standard products. Fine. And with this, if I'm right, we close today's session. Myself and Vivek, we are open for question and answers. Thank you, Vivek. Please be with us. And Safina, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah. I know you had vanished in between, so please get back with your question and answers, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful session, sir. And today we have been receiving overwhelming responses from all the audience and also about the case studies. So thank you so much and congratulations for the team for sharing your case studies and getting great responses. So with this, I would like to go ahead and ask the questions. So the first question of the day, want to open up a mini supermarket in Bihar. So what are the studies required and there are any approvals required from the government? Will I have to open a current account or the savings account?
Now, if I'm right, this is a very basic question. You need to open a current account. And what I would suggest is you prepare, the first step is you prepare a SWOT analysis and then move ahead with a business model canvas. Once you do this, you'll be in a position to understand what is the next level you need to get into. And you already have existing models which you can study when you're getting into retail or a supermarket. You already have supermarket and retail businesses. Go study them, evaluate them, talk to the people around and understand, and then start putting all the data on paper and then get into planning.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. I think that question has been answered. In case if you have further queries related to the question what you asked, please do get in touch with our team and we will see like how we can support you. So the next question is, I'm going to start an online business and the categories like groceries, meat, seafood, and ladies boutique, kids wear, and the nutritional products, and few more adding to concept are little different than other online markets. Like we are tied up with the existing business in a different areas and pickup and delivery of the customers. And my question is, will I get success?
What is new you are doing here? Is there anything new which you are creating? You are creating one more platform which is an outcome out of the demand looking at the pandemic and the lockdown. During the pandemic and lockdown, there are a lot of online businesses which have come in. But believe when you are starting any startup, look at the feasibility and viability. Feasibility is, are you going to make profits now? Viability is, are you going to sustain this business over a period of 5 or 10 years? You have the biggies like Flipkarts of the world, Amazons of the world, you have Reliance of the world. Now, what is so special that you have to start this business when all the biggies are there? You have the big basket who is already doing it. You have the Metro which is already doing it. You have Tatas which are already doing it. If I am right, in the last session, we had a detailed discussion on retail business. If I'm right, last session we had, like we took an example of online grocery and retail. So please go back and look into that last week's session. You will get enough details on this. Right. So getting a success is not a challenge, but what is that uniqueness you are going to come up with so that people will come and buy on your portal? That is more important. Otherwise, it is a replica. You're wasting your time until and unless there's no uniqueness. Don't burn your money.
Yes. I have to describe the significance of my product. I'm still not able to understand the part. So here I would like to reiterate this question. So correct me if I am wrong from the participant here. So this participant is into multiple businesses and multiple product, and she wants to understand how does she needs to describe the significance of her products.
The first is, we do not know multiple products, multiple services in which domain she is giving. Is she giving goods? Is she selling TVs and is she selling mobiles? Is she selling laptops? We are not aware. Or is she selling sweets, or she's selling bakery, or she's selling some beauty products? We are not aware. Yes. Now, my request is, if you are a startup, don't get into 101 products. Focus on what is that unique proposition or a very classy product which makes a difference in the market. Start with that niche. 1 or 2 or 3 products which are very exclusive. Start with that, then get into the market, create your own space, create your own in the geography, only then get into multiple products and services. Otherwise, you'll be stretching too much and you will burn out.
Yes, and sir, for the same, like, do you suggest her to prepare a business canvas model and at the same time?
There is no choice.
All right, thank you. Yes, so the next question is, could you please elaborate the proof of concept with an example?
The proof of concept of with an example, you just had a case study just now of Spicy Wagon, where they started the product or service. They created a technology. They took the product and service to the local geography to start with in Vizag, Vishakhapatnam. They made the product successful, then they moved it to the national level. So
Right.
proof of concept or testing is like you're creating a product or service, you're taking a specific geography or customer segment and testing that product or market to see that you get into a success, and also you have the challenges and problems, you overcome those problems. Let it be of technology, let it be of operations, let it be of delivery, let it be customer acquisition, or let it be your vendors and suppliers. So you need to first create a process where you get in and launch on a test basis, learn from it, redo the product, and then get into the launch. You had a fantastic case study just now. Yes,
Yeah, sir. The next question is, please enlighten on how the following process of the valuation of a company, private equity, and also IPO.
valuation, private equity, and IPO, we will have a separate session for this, because I cannot give an answer of valuation or private equity or whatever the funding. The funding itself, we have a separate session. We will deal with it.
All right.
Because
Thank you, sir.
different products, different services, different industry, based on the promoters, based on the technology, based on the profitability, we have valuations.
Right.
So we have valuations, based on that we have investments, then the funding, the whole thing, we take it as a separate session.
All right.
Nabil.
Yeah. I need more understanding on return on investment topic.
Return on investment topic also will come in funding, but I'll just give you this now. Return on investment is you have invested 1 lakh rupee in a business. Fine. And you have created a product or service. Or I can tell you have created a small bakery. You have invested around 3 lakhs in that. Fine. That is what you have invested is an investment. Now, when will that 3 lakhs, what you have invested, will come back to you? Assuming you have taken that 3 lakhs from your uncle or a friend or your father, that 3 lakhs, you need to return it back. How much time and how many days you need to keep the bakery open, and daily how much you have to sell, and you are going to return that 3 lakhs within 6 months or 1 year or within 2 years. If you are returning that 3 lakhs in 2 years, that means the return on investment of 3 lakhs will come in 2 years. Then the 3 lakhs, if it is coming in 2 years, it is like on an annual basis, you are gaining or making a profit of 50%. Fine. Now, based on the time, the value, whatever you are getting the profits, first you give the investment back. Then along with that, there's something called as a opportunity cost of that amount. If they are giving that 3 lakhs, you need to attach some amount or add some amount and then give it to them. That is the return on investment. 3 lakhs plus what is the percentage you are going to give them? Is it like 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? So the return on investment itself will come into the funding. But just as a summary or a small snippet, I have explained you the return on investment.
Thank you so much, sir. We want a business consultant for our brand. Can you help us?
You share your business model canvas, you share your business plan, then based on your geography, we will suggest you how to go about it.
Yes. How sensible is it to enter a saturated market like e-commerce, though the products stand out?
If the products stand out, absolutely, you have a USP, you have a patented product, or if you have a completely product which is not available on the market, you can go ahead. There's nothing wrong in it.
And there is a next question to Mr. Vivek. I have a question to Mr. Vivek. What are all the challenges you came across collaborating with IRCTC?
Vivek is there, or you want me to talk?
Sir, I think you can answer because Vivek had shared the challenges earlier in this slide.
See, tying up with IRCT is like, ant tying up with an elephant. So imagine an ant, if it has to tie up with an elephant, it has to start from the ground, reach to the ear, and then give a buzz to the elephant. It's a challenging job. That is the USP of Spicy Wagon. That is the uniqueness which they have built. It is a huge process which they have taken almost 1.5 to 2 years to tie up with IRCTC. There are certain categories to tie up with IRCTC. It's like you need to pass through the tender, you need to have minimum turnover, you need to have so many customers done, you need to have, for example, in Spicy Wagon, so many deliveries should be there, you need to be an existing company, plus you need to give some deposit, then you can tie up with IRCTC. So they have passed through all the prerequisites of IRCTC to become a partner with IRCTC. With all this, even after tying up with IRCTC, the challenge they have is managing the relationships of IRCTC is very important. So IRCTC is a big challenge. No people, that's the entry barrier. If anyone wants to replicate Spicy Wagon, first big elephant they have to reach is IRCTC. The second big elephant they have is the customers. And the third is the technology support and the delivery. So it's not an easy game to enter.
Yes.
Yes.
How do you know what to offer to the investors and how to brutally focus to make our business model canvas?
Of what business, what product, what model? Please prepare a business model canvas and prepare a business plan and send it to us.
My question is to Vivek again. First of all, thanks for the wonderful presentation. How are you managing your finances during this Corona time, March 2020 till now?
From March 2020 till now, there's no much business happening. So they have gone back into the shell and preparing the product, working on a roadmap, what to do next, how to get the investments, how to get technology partners, how we need to go and acquire the customers. They are doing a lot of back-end work. When there is no front-end work or business happening, please understand as entrepreneurs, we need to move backwards and then do a lot of homework. So that they are doing a homework to see that they move to the next level. When I tell the homework, it is planning. They are in a planning stage. They have come back. They're doing a lot of desk work, table work, and they're doing the basic planning work to move to the next level. Because once the business commercially starts again, they will not have time to go back and do the planning.
Yeah, and there is a next question from Brother Abdul Mukeet. He says, can you unmute to ask the question so that he can be in a better position to frame it to everyone? So I have given the unmute option. You can just unmute yourself and speak.
Assalamu alaikum, Jelani sir. Abdul Mukeet here.
Yes.
So the background about the question, because you asked again what product and thing, I wanted to tell you. Yesterday I attended IICCB Investors Conclave, where I was put to present about my business idea to about two investors, and they seemed interested in my project, and they want to know what is the return on investment strategy which I could offer, which I have not worked on. Yeah, and again, I know you will be telling me, please first share your business canvas model, and then we will work on your business plan, and then we will be able to give the answer. I want to understand, how do I brutally focus my mind and sit and work on the business canvas model? Because I have sat on it over the last week at least about 10 to 15 times, but I am not able to completely focus and do it. A lot of distractions.
Distractions like what? You have work related, you have family related. What are the distractions?
All around. Family related plus work related.
What you do is you choose the time, you sit in the night from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, or get up early morning and then start from 4 o'clock. When you are alone, when you are at peace, you can still do it. Because
Okay.
the whole business model canvas, it is no other person can help you. In business plan, other people can help. Because business model canvas and SWOT analysis is the basic tool which you as an entrepreneur have to do it on your own. Only then it can be expanded or it can be supported by professionals.
Okay, let me try focusing early morning, and then I will share the business canvas model with you soon, inshallah.
That's amazing.
Next.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you. How do you approach to the corporation like IRCTC with the proposal?
Now, if I'm right, if someone is having a product or a service, let them come offline. We can go ahead and support them.
Yes. Thank you for the wonderful insights on the business through case studies. Waiting for the next sessions. Okay. Does MIA have a business mentorship program, please? Is it possible to handhold and startups without expecting a financial gains from them?
Sorry, there's no free lunch on this planet Earth. We can give mentoring and support to a certain extent, but not for lifelong.
Yeah. The next question is,
Because anything comes free has no value.
Yeah. The next question is, which companies do better and last longer? Is it B2B or B2C?
It is both based on there are whole factor. In fact, it depends on the product, it depends on the service, it depends on the markets, it depends on the promoters. There are whole factors which are important. Both B2B and both B2C are successful. And there are certain companies who have B2B and B2C both together. So there's nothing like B2B is successful or B2C is successful or B2B and C is successful. It all depends on the product, on the service or the product service what we are giving.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for the wonderful session. I'm very much inspired from Jilani Saab sessions and plan to start footwear manufacturing in Bihar. My very basic question is that, will it be right time to start a manufacturing of a footwears that is for men and women and the kids? What challenges can I face if I start now?
I would request first come out with a business plan, create your own brand. Then there are a lot of companies whom you can outsource your product and get it manufactured. First start that, then you get into business of putting up a new plant or manufacturing. Don't get into putting up a new infrastructure or a plant or manufacturing. Because of the pandemic, lot of infrastructure is underutilized. I'm repeating, because of the lockdown, lot of infrastructure in the factories is underutilized. Please go on contract basis, start your product, build your distribution. Once it reaches certain level, only then you move to the next level.
Yes. Thank you so much. And I think I have covered all the questions which were being asked. And if I have missed out any questions, I appreciate all the participants to please repost your question so that we can address all your queries.
Okay, I think the questions are over.
Yes, so the questions are over and I have one request to all the participants. Okay, I just wanted to ask, like, as we mentioned, today is the last series and the next series we have a bonus series. It's all about a branding. Okay, so would you like to have any more sessions in coming days? And if you would like to have, okay, do you have anything that that you want us to conduct? Can you please type it in the chat box?
Please ask them to send it on WhatsApp, because now if they start, it's already 11:30. We will close. Let them get in touch directly.
All right, perfect. All right, thank you so much. It was lovely connecting with all of you, and I'm very, very happy to see until now we are having 42 participants. This says that the interest level of attending this session like a marathon, that too on a Saturday evening, and thank you so much. We will soon get in touch with all of you. And on behalf of, sir, you would like to tell something?
Thank you very much. Appreciate all the support and compliments which you people are giving. And I will be more happy if you start implementing all the webinars, content, whatever we have spoken. If you are successful, only then that thanks and compliment will come and reach us. Else, it is just one more webinar, one more session, one more classroom, one more gyan. I don't want that to happen. I want you folks to get in to real-time work. That is my sincere request.
Thank you so much, sir. And I just have like a couple of the people were just messaging like we have sent the business plan and as well as the canvas model, and still you haven't got any update. Okay, so the entire team is reviewing on your canvas model and as well as a business plan template. Please stay tuned. We will shortly get back to you. Okay, we are working on it. And in case if you still have any kind of a questions, please reach out to us. And with this, I would like to thank all the participants and our speaker and my entire team for helping us and staying until now and giving a valuable sessions. And thank you so much. Good night. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.